So you would rank setting an appointment, whether they're calling you from a mailing or Craigslist. You think that it's stronger skill set that you've learned on an incoming or outgoing? Do you think, is there a difference?
Well, I mean, I think I have the phone one pretty well set, and I got my little guide right there by the phone. So that one I feel like I could do pretty confidently.
Okay.
And I mean, whether it be they call me or I call them, I think it's pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much. It's not much different. When you're calling them out of the blue, right, like a landlord, and they got a for rent, and you're calling them for rent, they're not looking for your phone call, right?
Right.
If you are coming at them as a real estate investor, if you're coming at them as a prospective tenant and you're turning them around into a lease option assignment, then that's easy. You're just booking an appointment to go see a property and you're acting as a tenant, right?
Right.
Okay. How about, well, we'll just go through the list. How about setting an appointment with expireds? What about those?
Now that one's where you go to their house and do it that way, give them some information. Yeah, that one, I mean, that one, I think that would be trial and error. So I would have to see how I would do. I mean,
okay, so that's a question mark right now on the expired. And Robbie, there's nothing wrong with you getting on Craigslist and finding a pretty girl to knock on a door. That's maybe at the community college, and she's trying to get a sales and marketing business degree, kind of thing. And you're basically hiring them on commission only to do some door knocking, right? And hand out some information. Because you're a big, strong guy, and if grandma's behind the door, they're not opening the door for you. I'm sorry. They're not going to do it. I don't care how nice you look, It's like home invasion 101 is what they're thinking. So. Yeah. So you might want to think about, and we've got a website called birddogcash.com. And if you get in front of a group of REIAs and say, we're looking for a few bird dogs, and all you got to do is write down this web address and fill out some information, then I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And then any leads that come in from Cleveland, I'll give them to you. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And you talk to them. Okay, so Bird Dog Cash might be a way for you to get somebody to door knock on expireds, all right, and hand them some free information. Okay?
I see. Okay.
All right. This is just to get your marketing going. Setting the appointment for the FSBO, what do you think about that? You don't run into too many FSBOs out there, and a lot of agents go after FSBOs. So what are you thinking about? Probably Craigslist lead, probably on a FSBO.
Right, and that one there too is I think I could pretty much do that. That one, calling them and just reassuring them that you're not an agent and things like that. I think I got that one pretty good.
Good. Okay. And then the other one is just a lead that it could be listed with an agent right now, and it's just giving them a plan B. And you would just say, they're expecting somebody knocking on their doors at times, about their house because they got it listed with an agent. And you would just say something like, I understand you're listed with Keller Williams. I hope it works out well for you. And by the way, if you don't get your price, here's a good plan B for you. And give them the 3-page report. Okay. So that's just kind of prospecting for the listed with an agent seller. Okay. And then, The other one is somebody that bought at the top of the market and they're not listed with an agent. They're not expired. They're not a FSBO. They're just living in the house, you know, and that 3-page report, might, you know, all they want to hear is no real estate commission, right?
Yeah.
And then they might think about selling. Okay. So those are the boxes that we look at when we're prospecting for sellers, you know. So you want to, how would you grade yourself on those boxes as far as being able to get those jobs done? Do you think you need any practice with any of those?
Like I say, what I think I would probably have as the toughest would be is the expireds, but to me those seem like the most attractive ones.
Yes. And
those would be
those are the hottest leads, and the easiest way is, you know, just shake their hand and give them some information and tell them you want to walk through the house, and that's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, those would seem like the best ones. Something that I would really like to, you know, go into a little more.
Think about trying to find a pretty girl that doesn't scare people, you know, on that one.
Yeah.
Just to get the 3-pager out. Now let's go into another box, which has got to do with the negotiation training, the 5 steps, and then moving into the 3-column. How do you feel about those 5 steps? Do you feel like you're pretty strong in those?
You know, I do keep listening to them to try and keep myself fresh with them. I wouldn't say that I have it down perfect because I don't.
Well, give yourself a grade, Robbie. What do you think about those 5 steps?
I'd probably go with a C+, B-.
Okay. All right. Well, what we can do this week, I don't know your schedule, but we can do some harder training on those, so you feel like you're more of a B+ into that. Because it's important. It's important to have that down. That makes or breaks you getting money in your pocket, you know, and I want you to feel a bit confident with that. And what about the 3-column presentation explaining the agent versus renting versus lease purchase or whatever?
That I believe I have the content down. The only thing that I've been wondering about it is, when do you apply that into the whole negotiate? Is that in between the, like, what, 4th and 5th step, or is that totally after? Or
to answer your question, it really depends on when you start going into that. When you start getting really strong buying signals that they need to do this right away, the urgency is really strong. What I would do is do a what if step, even if it came from me. Just like the money step is more involved with the wholesaling deal to get the price down. That makes sense?
Right, yeah.
If the motivation, if they have no equity and they know they can't do it with an agent, and they really are looking for an urgent solution, what I would do is I'd do a what if step right there, and I would say something like, well, I don't know if I can do this, and I'd have to check with my business partner, but what if? And then do that step, and then go into the three steps. Okay?
Okay.
And now some people will be impatient. They want that solution told to them right away, right? And you still have to go through those 3 columns. You can't just jump into our solution.
Right.
You know, you've got to go through the numbers, and so that they intellectually or analytically understand the numbers. Because for you to say that it costs 12% of the value of the house, they need to see how those numbers add up to 12%. You know?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And to take the calculator and to go, oh, get a big calculator and go, oh, 0.06 times 150,000 that's $9,000. And they write it down. You know what I mean? It's like you're teaching them how to find out what the costs to sell are.
Right.
And it really is an aha moment. So that first column, you need to take your time with it. I don't care if it takes 15, 20 minutes to do that first column. You need to take your time with that. So that they're looking at, $150,000 house, we got to pay $18,000 to get rid of the house. They're going,
right.
Well, yeah, and to tell you the truth, that might be a good solution for you. You're not selling them on, don't do that. That you need to let them tell you, oh, I hate that. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you see the difference between kind of like saying, doesn't that suck? You don't want to lead them down that path. You want them to say, you want to be that trusted advisor who says, well, this is what most people do. They take the hit.
Right.
Right. And most sellers don't know there's another choice. We can save some of that money. And my job is to show you these 3 choices and see which ones you like.
Right.
It's that simple. Then you go through the rent, and that's pretty fast. And the right-hand column is you just compare the rent versus the lease option assignment or the land contract assignment, whatever. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's one thing for me to, I listen to the videos and, the recordings and everything to sit here and say, but to actually go there and do it would really give me a sense of where I'm at, so I would like to get a couple just to where I can actually see where I'm at in this,
Sure. Yeah, I almost wish I could kind of physically be in your house for a couple hours and you could like pretend, if you will.
Yeah.
And maybe videotape, how you do it, but I don't have that ability. So the next best thing, Robbie, is for you to go do it and screw it up or do it and find out where your weaknesses are, and it's practice.
Yep.
And that's the next best thing. And the other thing too is you can always call me, Robbie. You can always say, look, my business partner has been doing this for 25 years. I'm a little bit, I'm not as good as he is. Let's see if he can't, answer your questions a little better.
Right.
So you get through the presentation and write down their questions and then get me on the phone, and then I'll just kind of summarize the situation with them, right? And kind of like be your backup, Be your senior training officer.
There you go. I like having those.
Yeah, well, I want you to, be successful. I want you to be successful. Okay, so let's just say that your homework this week is to kind of work on the 5 steps a little bit better. And so Wednesday we'll do a role play and tape it. Okay?
Okay, very good.
And nothing else. If it takes Wednesday and Friday to just focus on that, And it's very hard to do the rapport building because you can't see anything, but you can make up stuff, on the first step. The second step is pretty simple, the upfront agreement. The third step is pretty simple. You got to study that.
Get rid of their options.
Yeah, you got to kill those other options. And I think you've got that step down pretty well, by the way. I think if I remember correctly, that third step's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident with that one.
And then the fourth step, the money step, it takes a little practice to get good at that. And we can preface the training and say, this is a wholesale deal. These are the numbers. And your job is to get use the range technique and get my price lower. That's your job. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then the what if step from there, right? And then if you did have a wholesale deal, you could always give them two offers, right? You give them a wholesale offer and a terms offer, right? It doesn't have to be just a wholesale offer. And that's the nice thing about this business is it really depends on where the seller's head's at, whether they can wait for some of the money or not, or they have to, get out of Dodge and get some moving money. It depends on their urgency, So I think if we just take this week and kind of focus on that, I think it would do you well.
Yeah, I think so. Because like you say, that negotiation is key. So if I screw that up, then they're not going to get too far. So,
well, I think looking at where you started from and where you're at right now, there's been a big jump. I think you're better than a C plus. I think you're already like at a B minus. But I don't know. I haven't really done a lot of role play with you.
Right.
And the nice thing about this is we can tape it and you can look at it,
Right.
And you can get a feeling for how it seems to you.
Sure.
And be kind to yourself too, Robbie. Don't get bent out of shape about where you're at. Some people take years to get where you're at right now,
Yeah.
I think your success is pretty good so far, even though, we don't have any written contracts yet, but they're coming.
Right.
They're coming.
No, I agree with you. I think from our very first phone call till now, I'm a lot better off, knowledge-wise, and just the basic understanding of things. As far as real estate goes, I've got a lot more knowledge. So.
Yeah, now it's one thing to have theory, and it's another thing to have presentation experience. The presentation experience will really enlighten you as far as how people react to you.
I see. Okay.
And it's kind of like you're in a classroom, being a peace officer, and then when you're out on the road, it's a different thing. Right?
Yeah, absolutely is. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. So, why don't I let you go, and we will tape and critique, these trainings on Wednesday and Friday if your book is open for that.
Yeah, it is. I'm off on Wednesday. I got to work Friday, but it's no big deal.
Okay. So we'll book those times. Yeah.
One more other thing about the whole stressed out factor. I did something to my website. I was rooting around on there, and something got screwed up where my wife, she fixed most of it, but that optimize or whatever you put on there, that's no longer on there. So,
all right. Well, let me go into it with you right now. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. All right.
Okay.
And we're going to try to find out what happened. So, what is it, Cleveland? The Cleveland Home Solutions.
Yeah.
And we have a different theme now.
Right.
Let's see. What is the username on this?
All right. She switched it. It's procrobbie@yahoo.com. All lowercase.
Procrobbie at. Say again?
Yahoo.com.
And password?
Small p. 8. Capital T.
Capital T.
Small w. Capital US.
Capital U, capital S.
Yes. 49.
Yeah.
And a small t.
Small T as in Tom?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, if you go into appearance and themes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you deleted my theme.
Yeah,
How did you do that?
I have no idea, to tell you the truth.
That takes some doing to delete a theme. So you must be a very industrious guy. All right, so we're going back into my themes here, and I'm looking for optimize.
Yeah, I was all proud, showing my wife and everything, and I did something, and there it went.
Okay. Now, what we need to do, I gotta just, I'm not gonna try to explain to you what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. All right. Then what I'm going to do here is to get into your users. You see where it says, you see where it says users here? All users?
Yes.
And there's your Proc Robbie at Yahoo, okay? And you see where it says administrator? Over here?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to add another user, and it's going to be me, okay?
Okay.
It's just going to be, and then I'll put the, doesn't like my password. I think it's a great password. Since password, and then I'm going to make it an administrator, and so I don't have to worry about figuring out that password that you just gave me.
Oh, I see.
You see what I mean? Now, what we're going to do right now is we're going to try to figure out let's see what your site looks like. Now you see this stuff here?
Yeah.
You're going to get rid of that.
Okay.
Which is your, you see appearance right here? And then you go to appearance, and then you go down to menus.
Menus. Okay.
Okay. And you see where it says home and welcome here?
Yes.
Well, ideally, we just want to, what I'm curious to know is if we put your URL in there, what happens? And that's fine. Okay. So what I want to do here what we need to do is you see your menus, settings, theme locations, primary menu, save menu. Okay. All right. So we're going to get rid of one of these. Now we just have the welcome, and we save the menu. It's been updated. So if we go back and visit the site, you see where it says these categories? Now those are widgets. All right. That's the other thing you got to understand. You see where it says widgets here?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to get rid of that stuff on the sidebar. We're going to get rid of the categories, the meta, and then your menu 1 is going to stay there, but it's not going to have a title.
Okay.
And then, you see we got only the welcome. And we got the welcome here. And up here, we got to figure out how to get rid of that. But I'll work on that. But it looks okay right now. And the other thing we had to do, do you remember, was the jot form? Remember the form that we had? So we need to get in a jot form. And do you remember how to get into your jot form account or not?
I do believe so.
Okay. Well, I'm already in there because I haven't used it since I talked to you. Okay?
Oh, okay.
But you see right here the Cleveland Home Solutions 1? Remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
And there's your contact us form. So what we got to do right now is we got to embed the form, all right?
Embed. Okay.
Okay, embed the form. And we got to look down to the WordPress, and we got to highlight the script for that, and then close that, and get back into here. And what we want in this area, we want that form. Okay?
Okay.
All right? So we got to go into here. We got to go into the widgets, because anything on that right column in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your sidebar. So to be able to get that in there, what we need to do is to get into the text. You see where it says text here?
Yeah.
And it says arbitrary text or HTML. We're going to drag this over here, and then we're going to just paste the text in there. Then we're going to save that. And then we're going to close it. Now we've got the custom menu and the text, but I want the text form to be the first thing they see. So I'm going to drag this down and put that up top. So when we say save right now, we should see that form on your site. And there you go.
Okay.
All right. So what you've got is you've got your Cleveland Home Solutions, you've got your phone number, you've got your welcome, you've got your homepage video, you've got you talking, you've got contact us, and then the email.
Yeah.
Now we do need to improve this. The thing you got to remember is that is this is a jot form. That's what you got to remember. And you got to go into jotform.com and sign into your account to get that form. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's all right.
If you want, I'll talk to your wife about this.
Yeah, I was trying to remember how it was in bed though. That's what I wasn't having her do.
All right. That's fine. You see how this is a very simple site, you know.
Right.
And you've got the name up top, you got your phone number, you got your welcome, you got your, and if you want to redo this, how did you get this stuff on the right? The white stuff?
The white stuff.
This stuff on the right of the video.
She she did it in like a movie maker thing. So like I said, she gets into messing around with this stuff, and
that's fine. But you know what I'd like to see you do is to do a video with just this wall. I don't want to see the picture, and I don't want to see this white stuff.
Okay.
And what I want you to do is similar to what I'm going to show you something here. So if I'm doing the video to replace that one, right?
Yeah.
Wherever I point, right, it's the opposite of where you think that form is. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So you got to point toward the other way where you think it is, because it's a mirror image. You can test it if you want. Just go like this and see if it's toward the form or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or do it both ways. Do one video this way, you know. And what you want to do is on the video, you want to basically say something like this: is thank you so much, and use your hands. Like I'm backing up a little bit. Thank you so much for coming to our site. We buy houses in your area. All I need you to do to get a free report is to opt into this form. Within 30 seconds, you'll have a free report on how can you get the most amount of money out of your house. So make sure you opt in. Thanks very much for visiting. And that's it. It's all you. If they don't opt in, Robbie, the site's worthless. You know, it's a lead generation site. That's all that thing is for. Okay?
Okay. All right.
Does that help?
Yeah, it sure does. Now, what about that report? Like, where do I get it?
Oh, don't worry about it.
To send it to them.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll work on that this week. You know?
Okay.
And that 3-page report, the 3-page report, the special report can be the report.
Oh, okay.
You know, where it talks about lease purchase?
Right. All right. Okay.
And then we'll, what I want to do is, I want to take that form and put it to another form, right? So you capture their name and email, and then you send it to another form, which asks them a little bit more information.
I see.
And it would be okay. But we'll get to that. We just wanted to get the framework up. So your homework's going to be get another video without the picture and without the white stuff. And if your wife hates me about that, well, I'm sorry. She's going to have to hate me. That's the way I need it.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And okay.
All right, Brian. I'll be working on that, getting a new video and stuff.
Okay. I'm going to wish you a good next couple of days, and I'll see you next Wednesday at the same time. All right?
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.